Hey there, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, the lead swing trading analyst trader at Swing Trade Pros, the #1 swing trading and bot community in the world. And I genuinely want to help you make your mark in the thrilling world of swing trading cryptocurrency. I've been trading since 2017 and I've taught myself many different trading strategies, patterns. I'm known for the falling wedge pattern, as you guys might know. I've dedicated my life to mastering these types of structures and patterns, and now my goal is to impact the lives of 1 million of you. You heard that right. My goal is to impact 1 million people this bull cycle. Let that be you. Cryptocurrency markets can be a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs. But through swing trading, I've discovered a strategy that can truly make a difference. I've poured countless hours to studying the intricacies of falling wedge patterns, rising wedge patterns, you name it, and it has become my area of expertise. Here's the thing. I genuinely want to see you thrive in this market. That's why I've made it my mission to impact 1 million of you. I want to provide you with the tools, insight, and support you need to navigate this exciting but challenging landscape. Swing trading is not just about technical analysis. It's about understanding market psychology and developing disciplined risk management strategies. I'll be there to guide you step by step as we identify different types of patterns and structures and seize profitable opportunities. Together, we'll build your confidence in trading skills, ensuring you're well prepared to face the twists and turns of swing trading. Believe me when I say that I genuinely care about your success. That's why I'm inviting you to join me, Mr. Know-It-All, on this transformative journey. Let's make the most of this bull cycle and work towards your financial freedom together. You'll find all my links in my bio. Reach out and let's dive into this world of swing trading. I'm here to support you and your family and guide you every step of the way because your success matters to me. Together, let's make a real impact and achieve trading success.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly stream here. We had some interesting price action this week where Bitcoin reclaimed that 25K region, and well, is this move going to continue is the question, right? So we did put a weekly bullish engulfing candle in, and we got a rally off these lows. So the question is are we going to see continuation? And if so, how high are we going? I think we have a level here around 27.5 that could get tested. If we do see continuation, which we probably will see an attempt to break past these levels here. All right. And I would say this wick high right here, this 28.1K region, is really the major resistance level, right? We tried to rally up here. We got instantly rejected and came back down to the range low. So it's pretty clear that that's kind of where we've literally been stuck in this range now since March, right? Our top of our range is 31K. Our bottom of our range right now is 24.8K. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. If we look at our weekly sentiment, we could see that bears are in control. We even had a cross. So I am expecting a further downside here this week. Like I said, we could see, maybe an attempted rally or an attempted push to the top of that area, that 28K region. But you can clearly see right now what's happening here. This kind of looking like a rounded type of top formation that's happening with Bitcoin right here. So it is looking rather bearish. So keep that in mind. It's pretty clear that when that weekly crosses like that, we're going to see most likely continuation to the downside. All right. And where are we going on this downside move? Well, obviously we're going to go retest the range low at 24.8K once we do get there. But let's go to like the shorter time scales, like the 4-hour. So the 4-hour chart is fluctuating right this very moment. Obviously we're kind of zooming into a smaller time scale. The 8-hour, we can see that we're losing bullish momentum here. The bearish sentiment is picking up here. When we have separation like that, it's actually not a bad time to maybe take a short trade on an asset like this, or really any asset. So like the next 8 hours, we could see some downside is what we're saying. The daily did make this cross, but there's not much separation on the cross. So we could we could, in theory, just consolidate here for a bit, based upon what I'm seeing on the 4 and 8 hour chart. And like I said before, I do think it's likely that we will, go and grab liquidity up to about 28K, and we have a trend line here that is being respected. So I think as soon as we come into contact with this trend line, whether it's 27.4 or we wick through it to 28K, I think that's where we're headed in the short term here. All right. Cool. We'll look at ETH, and then we'll look at some of the indices and see what's happening there. All right. So ETH kind of literally hanging on by a thread, right? So we had a breakdown and it bounced right back into the pattern. But yeah, if Bitcoin's going to be heading down, I am going to be giving downside targets here for ETH. Same kind of story. Yeah, I mean, the daily here, we could see that on the daily, the bullish momentum is starting to pick back up because of that move we had up last couple days. The 2-day, you can see though that the 2-day actually looks like the bears are basically in control on the larger time scale here, right? So this to me looks like a bull flag, and it's probably going to go up. And the weekly we already had a bearish cross, so there's not enough separation just yet where we could say that maybe we've bottomed out on the weekly chart. So projecting further downside here for ETH, and the downside targets are as follows. Our first range low here at 15.25. If we do break that with volume, we're looking at 1375 as the next real Fibonacci level. And then I have obviously plotted out, the 618 I think is a pretty good target, that 1235 region. And we're talking about this could take a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, depends on the price action and where we end up holding in the ranges and what Bitcoin does, what the dollar's doing, what the indices are doing, all that fun stuff. But I will note that the weekly stochastic is starting to cross back up, but it's not a buy signal until we get above 20. All right, so we can teeter around here for the next couple weeks and do a bunch of nothing burger and get a further move down while that's happening. And you can see that the daily momentum is, kind of topped out. So that's it. Just kind of just watching these ranges and watching these levels, watching Bitcoin, what it's doing, because obviously if Bitcoin's going to go down, ETH most likely will follow. And yeah, we're very close to a major movement in price based upon this trend line right here that it's been respecting pretty well. And we can see we have a clear line of resistance right here that ETH has been respecting as well, just like Bitcoin. Sure, we will take a look at XAU. All right, so let's take a look at the indices. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. So NASDAQ closed the daily back below this 15,477 region. We've now put in a bunch of lower highs, right? So the bulls are technically still in control. We're kind of sitting, technically bullish on the daily, with no, I wouldn't say with certainty that this is crossing up yet. The 2-day actually crossed bullish for the NASDAQ, but you can clearly see that momentum is kind of getting close to topped out. And yeah, we are sitting 55 on the RSI, but the problem with this is that we've made a lower high, we've got some bearish divergence. And let's go to the weekly. The weekly also losing that weekly momentum. We can see that this is coming down with the bearish sentiment picking up here. And we had this oversold or overbought candles. we made a bounce and we tried to rally and made a lower high. So this could be a technical double top. It won't confirm as a double top until we actually break the neckline, which is right here. So this is what we're really watching for. If the NASDAQ comes down and breaks this neckline at 14,740, we can expect a lot more downside if that happens. Okay. So we haven't done that yet. We haven't confirmed that yet. But if we do, just know that there is a lot more downside to be had with the NASDAQ and with probably all the indices. So let's go to the S&P and let's take a look at that. So the S&P kind of looks pretty similar to the NASDAQ in that way. We made this kind of double top, and we actually rejected the 78.6 retracement level. And again, so this is if this is a confirmed double top, then we're looking at the neckline here, the neckline at 43.40. If that is broken and back tested as resistance, that will be a great short trade. Probably down to the 50% retracement level, I would say is your first major target once you break the 618 level. All right. So that's your NASDAQ, and that's your S&P. We can look at silver and gold. Looks like some people want to look at that. Silver futures. So silver, we have a clear top of range there, and we have what looks to be a descending, broadening formation of sorts. I would call this a handle to a major cup and handle type of structure. But yeah, it is holding this major level of support, right? We made a doji reversal. Well, we didn't quite see reversal price action just yet, but these candles right here are usually indicative of movements back up. But we'll see. I mean, the bears are still in control of the asset on the weekly chart. The monthly still looking for upside. 3 week, 2 week. Well, the 2 week might actually cross here, so we could see, if we do break this level, we could see some downside for silver. The 2-day. So yeah, I mean, the short term looks like we might see continuation. Crypto alien, sure, we'll take a look at those, man. So the longer time scales were kind of telling us we could see some bearish price action, but what could happen is we could get one more test before we actually break down on silver. So we'll see what happens there. You're at a bottom of a range. I wouldn't say to short a bottom of a range, but you could strategize maybe a long trade off the low and trade it to the top of the range. And so I would say that that's probably not a bad strategy. But just know that the bears are in control of the asset on the longer time scales, right? We've been in a downtrend now since 2020, right? It's just been making lower highs, and it hasn't really been making lower lows. We've actually made higher lows since 2022, but we haven't been able to produce a higher high since May of 23, this last year or so. Cool. So that's your silver. Your gold, we'll take a look at gold. Kind of much of the same, right? Holding the range low, right? Sitting at support, but not really producing much movement off this support. It looks like it's getting weaker and weaker every single time it bounces off that level, all right? So just know that. The more it fails to break higher, the more likely it is to eventually break the support. We haven't done that yet. But yeah, I mean, just know that every single time you test the support, it's like, think about when you jump on, glass. If you keep jumping on it with the same force or with more force after you've bounced off of it a few times, eventually it starts shattering and breaking, right? So that's kind of the there, or the visual there, I would say. And yeah, the top of the range on gold, 2082.6. You haven't seen those highs since May of 2023. But yeah, holding the range for now on gold. And okay, so we'll look at the dollar. Judging by what Bitcoin's doing right this very second, looks like the dollar is flat, not much action. Weekly at a fib level, and actually closed above the 38.2% retracement from this swing high to this swing low. Broke out of this wedge pattern, and the weekly starting to give us that separation. The 2 week just crossing up, the 3 week. The 3 week bears are still kind of in control, but losing momentum right here, right? So we're going to kind of have to see how the price action goes this week for the dollar. But yeah, the weekly momentum on the dollar is at the top. So there is a chance that the dollar could pull back, which could lead Bitcoin to go test that $28,000 region, which is what we were talking about. And that kind of would be sort of confluent with that, right? So when the dollar is coming down and Bitcoin's going up, that makes sense. I would say, like, if you go to the monthly chart, the monthly actually looks pretty bullish for the dollar. We haven't closed the monthly candle yet, but we are at range highs for the dollar. If we do break above this 105.8 region, which we're not too far away from, we could be looking at a monthly breakout for the dollar, which could bode pretty bad for risk assets and for crypto. So, and on the monthly, you can see that the dollar is losing this downside pressure, which we all want to see, right, for risk assets to go up. And just take a note of that. There looks like we got some more downside price action to come here in the coming weeks, months. All right. Let me put some tunes on for you guys. Let's see. If you guys are enjoying the content, you guys know what to do. Smash the like button up. Appreciate all you guys tuning in tonight. And get the tunes on. Yeah, so the dollar is looking pretty strong. All right, so CL, what is that oil? Yeah. Oil monthly is in a breakout. Right. Pretty much in a breakout. We had a nice falling wedge breakout on U.S. oil here, or I would just say oil. I don't think this is slowing down anytime soon. Right, monthly it's looking extremely bullish here. You got the bears losing steam. We haven't even seen a cross up yet. So monthly looking pretty strong here for oil. Oil is all-time high up here at 150. We had this COVID low, which was literally, I think it went to 0. I can't even get the wick. Man, that's crazy. anyways, I probably shouldn't include that wick. That's a stupid wick to include, but COVID low. My God. Anyways, yeah, we're just gonna go from candle body to candle body here, but looking at the 786 fib extension from the top to the bottom that we've recently made on that low, and that's roughly about 94. And so I think that's your short-term target. Once you get above 94, you're looking at that 106 region and really up to about that 120 region. I mean, this could take months. This could take months to play out, but stochastics on the monthly crossing 20, super bullish, and that's really it. Oil is looking pretty strong on the monthly chart. Your daily might consolidate here for a bit. You're holding above a level. You might even see a pullback on oil up here, right? Overbought on the daily chart, right? So, you know, short-term pullback, probably just come back down to retest, you know, maybe as low as 85, depending on how steep of a pullback we see on oil. But that is a level right there. That looks like a major support level that we broke out of, right? So, you know, you could do something like this on oil where you come down and you hold this as support before your next leg up, right? So something like that on oil looks about right. That's it. Short-term downside here for oil, I would say, on the daily. NKD. This is nickel? Nikkei? I don't even know what this is. It's pretty much straight up, dude. I mean, not sure what you really want me to say about this. In a bull flag, right? Last week, put a bullish engulfing candle in, started breaking that flag, right? So you got the break. You might get a retest. Right? Your daily probably, yeah, your daily, you know, put in a reversal candle here, so you could see, you know, a consolidation back down before your next leg up, type of thing. Oh, Japanese stock exchange. Yeah. Well, it broke out. Could back test the break. All right, so I think we covered everything right there, Toe. We do have some crypto assets that actually do look okay, considering. Let's look at Tether dominance real fast. Right, so Tether making a higher low. We had a quick rejection, tried to break out of the pennant, and we actually closed a weekly bearish engulfing candle. So that's good. We had an attempted rally out of here, and I wouldn't say it was a fake breakout, but it was a quick rejection, right? So buyers did step in off that low at 25K on Bitcoin. Storage, yeah, storage. We're actually in a live trade on storage, guys, with a 37.5 cent entry on, and we are breaking this major trend line right here. So trend line, demand line, I should say, broken. And so I think we got some more downside coming here for storage. 5-hour bearish momentum picking up. Daily, we have lots of separation up here. So, and the daily RSI definitely topped out. and coming down. I was really looking at the 4-hour and the 8-hour charts when I took this trade, and I did see that we got a nice rejection off the 236 fib extension. We even retested it and made a lower high, and that's when we identified this to take a short trade. And yes, we are projecting about a 30% move down. We may only accomplish about half that move. Typically, measured moves, really, if you get half those moves, that's great. But I will say the longer term timescales on storage are actually kind of bullish. I mean, not full on bullish. We didn't get a weekly cross up, but we can see that the bears are losing steam here on the longer timescale chart. So, we are looking for a short term move down. Not a long-term move down, right? So the weekly actually is telling us that storage could end up just making a higher low after it did break out of this wedge pattern, right? So it actually broke out and back tested and made a double bottom down here, and then we got this rally, and we are just shorting at a level that we think has some good risk to reward, because it could just come back down to like the 32-cent region and find support there and consolidate. So that's kind of what we're looking at on this trade. Flow actually came down to that 43-cent region. We did it. Flow actually putting in a nice candle here, man. I will say this does look like a potential nice break to the upside here for Flow. Like, that looks pretty good on the hourly chart. Like I said, some of these assets, longer term time scales actually look good. Flow is not one of them. It's actually been downtrending for quite some time, as you guys know. I mean, bottom of a major falling wedge pattern, and last week we did put in technically a weekly bullish engulfing candle. It is going to be tough for this asset to really rally if Bitcoin's not rallying and the dollar's rallying. So I rest my case. We'll see how this goes. Some coins actually, do outperform. The daily pretty much bearishly engulfed yesterday's price action. I say pretty much because it technically didn't fully engulf, but I would say that's a pretty nasty rejection right there. But anywho, we'll see how Flow holds up here. The daily is actually looking like the bulls want to take the price up, right? So watch for a move up on Flow. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Dogecoin. Sure, we'll look at Dogecoin. The Doge. Pretty close to a major range low. Bears are still in control of the asset, spiking back up on the weekly. Not bullish on Dogecoin here. It's tough to be bullish on it. Anything below, I would say 8 cents. Tough to be a bull. So yeah, I think one more low. I mean, dude, if this thing does break this level, it's a lot of downside to be had on Doge. All right. Platinum. So Platinum broke and is kind of holding a range here. All right, so your major range high here for platinum, from 2021 is about, 1275 region. And that's like the middle, I would say. That's like your median range that you're looking at here on the monthly time frame. Yeah, weekly towards the range low, right? Kind of looking like you're trying to coil up here on the weekly. Right? Almost 3 rising valleys on the RSI. Well, I would say you do have that. So that looks interesting on the weekly chart. With momentum to the upside on the weekly. Looks pretty good. Your weekly range is 990. We'll call it 1,000, 995. So yeah, definitely could see some upside on that. NVIDIA, let's take a look at it. I think NVIDIA is topped out, or pretty close to topped out. Yeah, look what it's doing up here. I mean, I would say if you start to lose this area here on NVIDIA, could be a lot of downside, man. Right? I mean, I will say the 2-day, isn't really picking up bearish momentum just yet. The daily just crossed, so I don't know. I mean, let's go to the weekly, and you're sitting at 69 on the weekly RSI. Probably not a bad short trade. Just saying. Yeah. Probably back down to that 339 level is what I would say. This is straight up, man, and your next real major level of support is there. Probably a good risk to reward for downside on NVIDIA is what I would have to say on that. ZW. Did we cover ZW? I don't think we did. What is ZW? ZW is wheat futures. Okay. Bear is in control of this asset right now. Yeah. Draw a long-term trend line here. You can clearly see that this was looks to be like it was an ascending triangle breakout. Looks like there's some more downside to be had here on wheat futures. $561 region. Could bounce off this 382 fib extension, but I think the longer term time scale is looking pretty bearish right now. So Short-term upside on wheat, we could probably trade it back up to the top of the range or to the trend line, right? If we break to past 634, we could probably trade it up to about that 709 region, right? Just plot your chart. That's a major level. That 736 region, tested it twice and failed. So yeah, that's probably where you could trade it to if we get some upside on it. All right. Any other assets you guys want to cover tonight? Rune. So Rune bouncing off the 38.2% retracement level. If you do see continued upside, I mean, I don't see it going higher than $3. It looks like you broke out of this nice little wedge structure here. This was actually called out by me in the alert service, if you guys are part of that. But yeah, I don't see it going much higher than $3, man. And yeah, the weekly crossing up, looking good. 2-week looks like picking up some bullish momentum, which is great. Your 2-day chart holding on to the momentum, right? Stochastics crossing back up. Yeah, you could see some more upside on this asset. You are near a range high, right? So if you don't break this range high, you most likely will come back down to retest this range, right? So I wouldn't be looking to long this right here. I would be probably waiting for an entry for maybe a long if you want to long it. But yeah, you can see. Yeah, this was called out around I think $1.20 or something. I was looking at this thing down here when it double bottomed or whatever, when it broke this range. I think on the break I was looking at it. Yeah, yeah. This is a great project for sure. Rune is a good one. But yeah, then you have like your real long-term trend line here that you could eventually get to if this does. If this does break to this $3 area, you start making, what looks to be maybe like a cup continuation type of structure. You could see that. Yeah, I mean, the top of the wedge, right? So usually falling wedges go to the tops of the wedges in time. I say in time because sometimes they don't get there. It really just depends on the macro, and the macro is not so good right now. So just understand that it may not perform very well, right? But it did break out. And it is holding this 145 region. If you lose 145, you're going back down to that $1.20 region. So just know that. Anything above 145 could mean over $2. Yep. But yeah, the chart looks great for upside. Shorter time scale, or the daily time scales may be a little extended. You might be diverging a bit. Like I said, you could see a pullback up here towards the top of this range. But if you hold above 145, good to go. Sure. Let's look at one. Yeah, Harmony one. Haven't looked at this one in a while. Oh man, yeah. So broke a major channel up, right? Teetering around the 618 region here, just sitting at a major level. I have this plotted, right? Got a major bounce off of it. Tried to bounce again, just doing a bunch of nothing here, man. Bears are in control of the asset right now, but you can see bears maybe losing some steam on the 2-day. Daily, bears still in control, but maybe, just maybe, bulls are going to try to take. But the problem here is that your daily momentum is topping out, right? So this is a problem. I would say you could see some more downside on this thing. I mean, what are these candles, man? Like, what is that? Is this real, bro? Like, what is that? Look at these scams. Look at these scam wicks, man. Trying to real fail. Trying to real fail. I mean, dude, yes, it's holding for now. I would say if you cannot break above the 618, you're looking at 786 fib extensions, and you know, you could be putting in like a major Gartley type of setup right down here, right? One more low. Yeah, bro. I mean, I wouldn't want to buy something that's putting candles in like that. I mean, what is that? Just saying. What? Did it just rip? It just ripped like 20% on stream. That's crazy. Anyways, it's holding that area, and if it decides that it wants to break that area, wait, what? That's so weird. Why did it do that? I'm so lost right now. Did you guys see that? Am I crazy? Okay, yeah, that's the global index. That's, and now it's back down. Yeah, dude, have fun trading this thing, man. Find a better asset to trade. But I would say there's value down here at this 0.04 region, okay? And there's 3 people left on the show. I guess BNT and TRB. I'll take a look at those too. So BNT is an OG project, DeFi, right? Bancor, right? Just ping pong between the 786 and the 618. That's it. And, you know, I wouldn't say that this is bullish. I wouldn't say that it's anything short of maybe bearish because, well, I mean, yes, it's higher lows than COVID lows. But yeah, this is a rectangle range, and yeah, this could get rejected. And maybe test the bottom of the range again. It's literally been ping-ponging between these 2 fib levels for like, what, a year? Been doing nothing. So, yeah, it's clearly rejecting the middle of the trend line right now. I would say that it's probably going to come back down to the bottom of the range if Bitcoin continues its movement down. And the dollar continues up. So And if you break the bottom of the range, there's really nothing here until about 20 cents, which I would say there's probably some value down here. Okay. Just be patient. We definitely are talking about Bitcoin probably going lower if it gets rejected at 28K, even if it even tests 28K. All right. So just be patient with that. If you're looking to buy that. What was the other one? TRB. So TRB, nice breakout. Very nice. You get 300% move out of that wedge break. I think this thing needs to cool off, man. It's done quite a move. You can see that two-day stochastic overbought, coming down, right? I mean, I would say that you're probably going to retest the breakout, right? Like, it would make a lot of sense for you to come back down to retest, $19. Maybe even lower, like maybe even to 1780 or something. That area right there. Yeah, I mean, if you go below this Fibonacci level and you confirm this 24 region as resistance, which right now you're above, but if you do break below it and you confirm it as resistance, you could be looking to go back to $13. Well, if you guys enjoyed the content here, make sure you guys smash the like button up, join the Discord if you guys want to be part of the community. As you guys know, we do some trading and some live trading sometimes, and yeah, we love to look at charts and talk about charts. So please join the community, guys. Appreciate all your guys' support. And yeah, here's our live short trade on storage. Actually, I think it's much more now. We gave an entry on it earlier today. So yep, 37 cents was our entry. Probably. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna probably get off this stream, and unless you guys want to watch a little bit of the storage price action for a bit, for like maybe another 10 minutes or so. Ping-ponging right now. Right, never actually was able to break this low so far. So yeah, looks like maybe we did technically break the triangle on a bit of volume. Looks like it's going to come back up to test it. We are showing a bit of bull div on the 15-minute chart. But our longer time scales here are pointing down. we could just pop back into this range and like nothing happened. We could do that. We've seen stuff like that happen where maybe we reclaim 36 cents or something and we wick off this area and snap back into the range. And the reason why I say that that's possible is because we did put in a weekly bullish engulfing candle on this asset, and the weekly, you could see that the bear is losing steam on the weekly chart. So we could see some bullish price action, maybe later on in the week, potentially, right? The stochastics are crossed up. Weekly RSI is bullish, not overbought, but bullish, right? So yeah, if you're in this trade, just make sure you got to stop in and you know where you're strategizing exiting the trade for sure. All right, cool. I think everyone has officially left the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll catch you guys next week.